Okay, so we're going to be doing something very similar to the same thing we did yesterday. It's actually the same thing we did yesterday. Students will be able to add and subtract polynomials of degree 1 and degree 2. So a polynomial is an expression of 2 or more terms. Okay, so this is 2 terms, this has 2 terms. A monomial, mono means 1, so they each have 1 term. They're called a monomial. A binomial, bi means 2, so they each have 2 terms. Okay. A trinomial has 3. Tri means 3, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 different terms. The degree of a polynomial is based on the highest exponent. So the highest exponent here is 2, second degree. Highest exponent here is 6, sixth degree. Highest exponent here is 3, third degree. The constant is the term without a variable, so it's that -2 here at the end. Okay, and multiplying polynomials and binomials, we'll get to that later on. Okay, so let's look at your worksheet. I'm going to do a few examples, and then you're going to do a few examples. You know how this goes. So this one, their first step is you need to rewrite this without parentheses. So we have 6x plus 14 plus 9x plus 5. Because remember, this plus sign doesn't change anything. Okay, now use your colored pencils and let's mark. This is an X family. This is an X family. Noticing I'm boxing in the sign in front too. That's very important. Okay, this is a number family and this is a number family. Okay, so I have my families separated. So now we look at it. 6x plus 9x is what? If you have to type it in to be sure you don't do your math wrong. 6 plus 9 is 15. So 6x plus 9x is 15x. Okay? And then 14 plus 5, well, let's go check it out. $19. 14 plus 5 is 19. And that's your answer. Okay? Now, let's look at number 2. Or number 3. Let's look at number 3, sorry. Number 3. Okay, so the first step is to rewrite this without parentheses. Ready? So we have 14x squared plus 12x, 13x, plus 12. That negative sign changes this to a negative 7x squared, changes this to a negative 20x, and it changes this to a negative 4. Okay? So now we're going to combine like terms. X squared family. Let's look. Oh, here's another x squared family. And that's it. The x family. Let's check for another one. Oh, another x family. All right. And a number family. Always start with the highest exponent. So 14x squared minus 7x squared is 7x squared. Okay, then we go to the x's because that's next in line. So 13x minus 20x. Let's test it to be sure. 13x minus 20x. Oops, 13 minus 2. 13 minus 20. Negative 7. So that's minus 7x. Okay, and then 12 minus 4 is 8. That's your answer. Okay? You are only combining like terms. It's in the name. Combine like terms. If they're alike, you're going to combine them together. Okay? So now let's look at number 5. Number 5 is longer. It's definitely longer. me zoom out here a little bit so that we can see it better. Let's see. That's all it. Okay. So, number 5. Let's rewrite it without the parentheses. That's always your first step. Rewrite it without the parentheses. So we have 15x squared minus 9x plus 9. Good. This changes this to a negative 13x squared. This changes this to a negative 15x. And this changes this to a negative 5. This changes this to a positive 16x squared. This changes this to a negative 20x. And this changes this to a negative 16. Now that plus sign, it doesn't change this. So we just rewrite that the exact way it is. Negative 7x squared plus 10x minus 10. All right, so now we move on to like terms. You're in the x squared family. Let's keep looking. You're in the x squared family. Keep looking. You're in the x squared family. Keep looking. And you're in the x squared family. All right. Next one. You are in the x family. You are in the x family. You are in the x family. And you are in the x family. Ready? You are in the number family. You're in the number family. You're in the number family. And you're in the number family. Now we're just going to combine those like terms. So we need to do 15 minus 13 plus 16 minus 7. Okay? Let's just use our calculator. 15, what was it? Minus 13 plus 16 minus 7. 11. So we have 11x squared. All right, now let's go on to the x's. So we have this negative 9 minus 15 minus 20 plus 10. Negative 34. Negative 34x. Then we have our numbers. So we have 9 minus 5 minus 16 minus 10. Negative 22. Ta-da! That's your answer. Okay, that one looked harder because it had a lot of problems, but it really wasn't that hard, was it? All right, so now let's go down to number 9. Number 9. So subtract this from this, okay? If it ever says from, that means this one goes first. From means that goes first. Okay, because you're subtracting it from that. So let's rewrite what they're saying. Subtract this from this. So this goes first. Negative 6x squared plus 19x plus 19. And we're subtracting this from this. So subtract negative 10x squared plus 16x minus 15. Notice I had to put parentheses around these. We wrote the equation from the words they've given us, okay? Now we're going to rewrite it without parentheses. So negative 6x squared plus 19x plus 19 plus 10x squared minus 16x plus 15. All right, next step is to combine like terms. So you're in the x squared family. You're in the x squared family. You're in the x family. you're in the X family, and you're in the number family, and you're in the number family. So let's combine. Negative 6 plus 10 is what? It's 4x squared. Okay, then we have 19 minus 16 is what? 3x. And lastly, we have 19 plus 15, which is what? Let's look. 19 plus 15, 34. Okay? Last one we're going to look at is number 13. Number 13. Okay, so this one says, how much greater is this than this? So it's saying that this is the bigger one, right? It's saying that it is greater, but it wants to know how much greater. So we're going to subtract that from that to find out how much greater it is. Okay, so again, we're going to write it out. Negative 12x squared minus 19x plus 8. And let me explain it this way. If someone asks you how much greater is 20 than 18, if you subtract 18 from 20, you'll see that it's 2. So 20 is 2 greater than 18. That's why we're subtracting. Okay, so then minus negative 15x squared plus 17x minus 18. Now let's rewrite this without parentheses. Negative 12x squared minus 19x plus 8. Remember, this negative makes that a positive 15x squared minus 17x plus 18. Okay? Now we combine like terms. X squared family, x squared family, x family, x family, and number family, number family. Okay, so negative 12 plus 15 is 3. Negative 12 plus 15 is 3. Then we have negative 19 minus 17. Negative 19 minus 17, negative 36. Then we have 8 plus 18. $26. Oops, sorry, let me change my color. And ta-da, you're done. Okay, so I want you to work on the rest of the worksheet. Call me over after a couple problems to be sure you're doing okay, to be sure you're doing everything right. I'll help you move on forward, because once you start getting the hang of this, you're going to go by it real quick. Have fun.